Hey, it's Luke Lonien, and you're listening to 103.1 KFIL's Coach's Corner on Demand. And welcome back to Coach's Corner. With us now, the head coach of the Mabel-Canton Cougars volleyball team. It is Lonnie Morken. Coach, how's it going today?
Going fantastic, Luke. Fantastic.
Great. Hey, thanks for taking the time to be here. We're recording this on a Friday. We're chatting. So the morning after a thrilling volleyball victory for you guys at Mabel-Canton High School. It was a pink out night as you guys are raising money for cancer research, obviously. It was a packed house between Spring Grove and Mabel-Canton. The atmosphere was electric, and the Cougars get the win 3-1, Coach, and it was an incredible night.
Luke, as a coach and as a competitor, and these nights are just, tough to describe, and they're really irreplaceable. I mean, you just live for these nights. You really do. All the off-season work you put in with the kids and supervising the weight room and, going to league and different things like that, working with the elementary kids. Last night was one of them payoffs. It was a reward or it was something special for you for all the time that you put in as a team and as a program. And it was a great night. Like you said, the gym was packed. It was probably the most full I can remember the Mabel gym in the 29 years I've been here. Spring Grove always travels well. It doesn't matter what sport they're playing. They support their kids extremely well. And so, and then it was interesting. I know Chatfield and Fillmore Central were off last night, and we saw a number of their players in the gym as well. And, just trying to watch good volleyball, I'm guessing, and if we had an off night and two really good teams were playing, I certainly would be watching either online or in person. And, it was a great night, Luke.
Fantastic night, like you mentioned. The volleyball was great, but even just the atmosphere and how much money you guys raised as well to go towards the cancer research was just another stone that made this just an incredible night.
Yeah, Kelsey Morken over in Spring Grove does just a fantastic job with these fundraisers. And she hosted last year, and then she asked if we would host this year, just, back and forth. Spring Grove, Mabel, Spring Grove. And so Karanda Vickerman, my assistant coach, and then Trisha Ryan, one of the moms of one of our players, they organized it and kind of did it all. I was basically just a middle person if people had questions or needed help dropping things off. But they organized and they did just a fantastic job, Luke. And I don't know what the final totals were, but I'm guessing we raised, I don't even know what we would be able to guess. I'm guessing well over this, I don't know, $7,000 mark maybe. I don't know. But so it was a great night. And so Spring Grove came out and won the first set 25-21. We had a little bit of a lead, and then they caught up, and then they took the lead, and then it was 21-20, I believe. I think we tied it at 21, and then they scored the final four, something like that. And then the second set, we got behind, and things weren't looking real good. We were down by 2 or 3 points, and then we had a nice little push. And then, if my memory serves me correct, I think we're up like 24, maybe 16 or 23-16, and Spring Grove climbed all the way back to 23-23. They tied it, and we ended up getting the final 2 points, and then that led us to the 5-minute intermission. So you can kind of have an extended time between the second and third sets if you're doing a fundraiser. And so we auctioned off the 2 volleyballs then signed by Spring Grove and Mabel. And so we went to the locker room and kind of talked about some things and tried to talk about a couple adjustments. And we came out, and third set, we got off to a little bit of a lead, and we played pretty well in the third set, 25-21. We ended up winning. And then the fourth set, I just think we kind of either wore them down or stuff happened, and we ended up, that was really the only kind of lopsided set. We ended up winning 25-14. We had about a 7-point serving run by Kayla Ingolson in the middle of that set, which really extended our lead. And so I was super proud of how we handled the adversity. And, we're a veteran team, but we have a lot of sophomores in our lineup that and a freshman that haven't played a ton in those situations. And so they're skilled and they're not normal 14, 15, 16-year-old girls, but they haven't done a lot of pressure situations like last night. And so I was really happy with how we responded. We talked after the game that when we lost that first set, how upbeat the girls were they still were. And I could see it in their eyes that they weren't wavering at all, and they weren't down on themselves or on the team. And I was just really proud how we came back, Luke. It was a great night.
A great night indeed, and spectacular volleyball, like you mentioned. Spring Grove played incredibly well all night, and your Cougars did as well, Coach. So you wrap up the East Division title with a win there over Spring Grove. So you take on Glenville Lemons next Monday, and then, of course, the East-West Showcase game coming up next Tuesday.
Yeah, and that'll be at Grand Meadow, and we play Grand Meadow actually first game of the year, so way back in August, and so they're very good, very strong. Their only 2 conference losses are to Spring Grove and us. So that Spring Grove beat them 3-0 and we beat them 3-0. But they're completely different than they were at the beginning of the season, as we are as well. And so, just real quick last night, Kinley Soini and Sejal Slafter led us both with 19 kills, and they both played extremely well. And as the season has gone on, the timing between them and Sahara Morken, our setter, has really gotten great. And they kind of know each other, where they kind of know where each other are. And a lot of times Sahara will even have her back towards them, but she'll still be able to find them with a really good set, and they'll be able to terminate balls. And so we certainly, they finished with 38 of our 58 kills, and then Sahara actually had 8 of her own. And so she had a few setter dumps. She's getting pretty good at disguising that, but she's also left-handed and can jump really well. So once in a while we'll utilize her on out-of-system balls, and we'll let her swing away. And it's kind of a blessing to have a setter that's athletic and left-handed. It'd be nice if she was about 5'10" like Spring Grove setter, but we'll take her, and so, and then Hope Erickson finished with 4 kills, and Kaylee Wilson finished with 6 kills as well. And then our defensive effort, I thought, was tremendous. We had Sophie Morken with 20 digs, Sahara Morken with 21, Kaylee Wilson with 20, and then right behind them, Lydia Votlin had 18, and Mackenzie Kelly had 17. So I thought we defended real well. And then as a team, we served 95%. We missed 5 serves, and we ended up with 7 aces. But we know we're not going to get a ton of aces against a team like Spring Grove. They just pass the ball too well, and they're just too good fundamentally. And so it was a great night. And sorry, I just wanted to go back to the Spring Grove game real quick. So
no, it's all good.
Yep. So we host Glenville Lemons on Monday, Parents' Night, Senior Night. So that'll be kind of a emotional night honoring our parents, and then our 2 seniors, Sophie Morken and Mackenzie Kelly, and then the regular season will wrap up on Tuesday, and seedings come out on Wednesday, and here we go.
Yeah, not wasting any time. Again, Lonnie Morken with us, the head coach of the Mabel-Canton Cougars. Coach, as you kind of work your way here to, like you mentioned, 2 regular season matches left, and then it's the section playoffs. So what do you really want to see this team kind of improve upon, or really start to execute well down the stretch?
Well, I think we talked last week about serving and serve receive, and if Spring Grove, without a doubt, served and serve received better than us the first set last night, without a doubt. Second set, we started hitting our spots a little bit better, and we serve received a little bit better. That second set was maybe 50-50, but then I felt the last 2 sets we served and serve received better than Spring Grove, and all that stuff ties into the rest of volleyball, right? And so if you pass better than your opponent, you're going to be in system more than your opponent, and you're going to be able to run your offense better. And the first set, Spring Grove, they did it better than us. There's no excuses. They just did it better than us. And the last 2 sets, we really, I thought, did better than they did. And therefore we were able to, especially in the 4th set, kind of, take a little bit more control. But, they're so good. They're so big. They attack so well, play such great defense. Some of the rallies last night were some of the longest rallies in high school volleyball. And they weren't free ball rallies. It was pass that swing, pass that swing, pass that swing, back and forth. And just great defense on both sides. And so, Luke, in practice, we're going to keep working on our serve and serve receive every single day. And sometimes you get teams that get bored by serving and serve receive drills, but this group just loves it, and we break them up. We usually don't do drills for more than, 4 or 5 minutes at a time, and then we'll do something else, and we'll come back to serving, serve receive, and try and keep things fresh. We don't want the girls to get bored doing things, especially things that are that important. And so we'll need to continue working on that. And then, as always, we have to try and run a faster offense because we're just not real big. And so our timing with our setter, Sahara Morken, and our hitters is going to have to get a little bit better. And the girls know that, but we certainly are going to keep working on those 2 things specifically in practice. And there's going to be a lot of good volleyball played in this section once again. So it's a new year, but it's kind of the same old story.
Yeah, new year, like you mentioned, same old story. It's a funny way to put it because this section is so deep. There really is so many teams that could come out of it. The Faribault BAs and the Kenny Watamingos, and of course Mabel-Canton, Spring Grove, Grand Meadow from the SEC, and the Three Rivers Conference. You have Fillmore Central along with Rushford Peterson, who's played really well this season. This section is really as deep as ever. It
is. And I think we also talked last week where on paper, the team that should win might not win on any given night in the playoffs, because teams are going to be so balanced that if one of your key players has a poor game, your team could get beat, even if you are the higher seed or on paper you were the favorite. That could happen. And so it's a little nerve-wracking. It's a little, anxiety causing to coaches and players and fans and everybody in general. But it's also exciting, because you know that each and every night you could get beat, but each and every night you also have a legitimate shot at winning. And so, we're just going to have confidence in our team. We're going to prepare them. We're going to skill them up in practice. And, we're just going to let things fly and have fun and zip around on the floor. And hopefully we have another deep run in the playoffs.
Lonnie Morken with us, the head coach of the Mabel-Canton Cougars, coming off that 3-1 win over Spring Grove Thursday night. They take on Glenville Lemons on Monday to wrap up their home schedule, and, of course, the East-West Showcase game with Grand Meadow on Tuesday night. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much, and good luck next week.
Yeah, thanks, Luke, always for the coverage for high school sports, too, not just volleyball, but everything KFIL does. So we appreciate it.
We appreciate that and appreciate the hospitality on a Thursday night. You mentioned it. The atmosphere was incredible. The gym was packed, and I had a lot of Spring Groves on the stage with me, and it just made for an incredible moment, an incredible atmosphere there in the gymnasium at Mabel-Canton. So thank you so much. We got more Coach's Corner on the way next this morning right here on 103.1 KFIL.